Hello, I'm Rupert van der Vel and thanks for joining me. I was speaking with one of my students recently who was bemoaning his lack of opportunities to get out onto the streets with his camera. Due to a heavy work schedule where he travelled a lot and a busy family life, he just wasn't getting enough quality time with his camera. Well, this can be frustrating, but it is often the reality for many of us. Of course, photography must take a back seat when it comes to most of us, and the important things like real life must come first. Like it or not, for the majority of us, photography is a hobby that has to be fitted in between everything else that's going on. So, what can we do about it? How can we increase our shooting time within our everyday lives? If we can't magically increase the number of hours we have available to us, then we need to try and increase the opportunities within our busy schedules and look upon everything we do as a possible picture-taking moment. Needless to say, always carry a camera, and then you'll be ready to capture that unexpected moment or discovery on your daily journeys and regular trips. Let's take a look at some examples of times, places and situations where pictures could be found when you're least expecting them, and which are not that far from your normal place of shooting on the street. Looking for shots on the way to work is an obvious one, but if you take the bus or train, remember to look around you for potential targets mid-journey. If you spot someone or something that interests you, look to see if you can get into the right position to get the best shot. On the tube in London, I spotted this chap grabbing a quick snooze from down the carriage, so I engineered myself into a position so that I could shoot him from directly overhead, using his hat to hide his face and bring more interest to the shot. This was taken on my iPhone. Sometimes it's the right device. Waiting for a train can sometimes be a long, boring process. Delays, cancellations, strikes, it never seems to end. So what can we do while we wait? Go hunting for pictures. Platforms, concourses, waiting rooms are all spaces that can yield interesting pictures, and what a great use of the time. Go with the available light and use your creativity to turn it into something a little dramatic. Negative space is again your friend. You never know, you might well end up quite happy that you've been delayed. Just don't get so absorbed that you miss your train. If you work in a larger office, there may be opportunities to have a look around to see what's happening in any accessible spaces. When I worked for the publisher Condé Nast in the legendary Vogue house in Hanover Square, I always had my eyes open and I was always nosing around to see if there's anything interesting I could shoot. I would never switch off. If you find yourself in a larger building, look around to see what the light is doing and what it might be creating, such as shadows, reflections, and interesting patterns and textures. The lunch break can be a key time for looking for pictures. I would often eschew the need to eat for a swift look round the streets with my camera. My appetite for pictures always won out on the better weather days. With the majority of office workers pleased to be out for an hour or so, it's a good time for the street photography enthusiast that is part of your everyday. An interesting project might be to look at how people are spending their break from the workplace. Having lunch, having a smoke, or just getting some air and exercise. This is a strange, sort of dislocated shot, which I've never been quite sure of. It does mess with the eye a bit. Never let a good drinking opportunity go to waste. Even if you're in the pub having a pint, it's worth keeping an eye open for a possible picture-taking moment. This was taken one Sunday lunchtime. I liked the net curtain and scene through the window, and the light falling on the drinker. I decided that I wanted all three, and so exposed for the light on the net curtain, and let the man drinking just be illuminated by the falling light. There's enough detail there. It's a rather odd frame perhaps, but I like the slight disjointedness of it. I waited for him to down his glass before shooting to get a more animated pose. If you're travelling for work, there will be plenty of opportunities where you're not expecting to find them. At the airport, you will doubtless be waiting some time for your flight. A great opportunity to grab the camera and go off hunting for pictures. Use the glass and reflector surfaces to the max to take some travel snaps out of the ordinary. The hotel too can be a wonderful place for shooting. Your room, the lobby, the bar, they're all alive with possibilities. You just have to use your eyes and your imagination. Nights out at the theatre or a concert are of course a great place to take your camera, as the chance for a nicely lit stage shot are high. That is, of course, if you have a good position and proximity to the stage. I didn't in this instance, as my seat was at the side of it. Still, I saw the potential of using negative space, something I love to do, by exposing for the well-lit area around the performer and letting the audience fall into near darkness. We can see he is taking the applause, and I like the fact that with his pose, he is a performer to the end. At a concert like this, you can't really start shooting during the performance, but you can be at the ready for the adulatory bit afterwards. If you're a member of a club, group or society that has meetings and activities, then suffice to say, you should always be on the lookout for picture-taking moments. With these occasions, you will often have to go with the available light and make the best of it. In the shot, the light was low and mostly coming from a fixture on the wall. The room picked up some of the ambient light from the street outside, which helped to add some atmosphere. The shot is quite grainy due to the high ISO and not pin sharp due to the low shutter speed, but I think it captured the atmosphere of the room and our chess game. And don't forget to keep looking as you make your way home after a hard day's night. If you want to maximise your shooting opportunities, this too can be a profitable time. It can be very satisfying to grab that last shot at the very end of the day when you're least expecting it. Summing up, your photography can be extended far beyond the actual street itself and your portfolio expanded when you consider your every waking moment as a potential picture-taking one. So if you find you're often too busy to spend the amount of time on the streets looking for pictures that you'd like to, then making a habit of being on the lookout for pictures during your normal everyday activities may well pay dividends in producing the kinds of pictures you'd like to be taking more of. Check out my book Fine Art Street Photography for more tips and help on how to take dramatic and striking pictures in and around the urban environment. Links are in the description to the video below. Let me know in the comments some of the places that you found pictures when you were least expecting it. Thanks for watching.